for investment. So last time we talked about uh, the causes, okay, the reason what caused the inflation. That includes war, okay, right? Remember cost inflation and QE policy, right? The central bank or the Federal Reserve print the money. Okay, we will also address on the QE, different QEs. And what else? What caused the inflation? Oil, right? The oil price. Okay, oil price is an important, very important cost in production. Okay, and whenever there is a surge in the oil price, then the inflation also increased. Okay, so the government is very afraid of the inflation because they are going to lose the vote, okay, especially for democratic countries. Okay, because when you wanna buy the tissue paper, okay, the price increased. When you buy the food, the price increased. Okay, so they will blame all the price in the consumer goods of the consumer goods, okay, to the ruling party, and then the ruling party might lose the vote and lose the power to step down. All right, and then so whenever there is a increase in the oil price, they are afraid of the so-called cost push inflation, and then they intend to the central bank intend to raise the interest rate. Okay, now we are in this kind of process. We are in the process of increasing inflation. So maybe we do not really feel it in Taiwan, but in the United States, the inflation rate, you know how much is the inflation rate? Anybody noticed? Too much. You do? You do feel it, or you heard of it?
When I transfer money, I end up with less NPD now by a lot. Like when I got here a year ago, I could save like, I don't know if the exchange rate exactly, but it only cost me like $680 to get to that, or 20,000 to use, and it's like $720 to get to 20,000.
So I mean, the U.S. dollar is losing the value.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah. Okay, so of course the inflation is going to cause the currency to lose the real value, and we also talk about it. But what I meant is, you know how much is the inflation rate now in the U.S. You know, it's about 5%, right? About 5%. How high is 5%? 5% means if your deposit rate in the bank is less than 5%, then you will not deposit. You will withdraw. So the government need to the banking system need to keep the rate higher, keep the deposit rate higher than 5%, say 6%. Okay, so they might be 1% of the real rate. Okay, so 6% for deposit rate, and then how much is borrowing rate, lending rate? That might be higher than, should be higher than 6% because the cost to the deposit for the banks is 6%. Then the 7%, maybe the lending rate is 7% or 8%. 7 or 8% is going to ruin the financial system. And then maybe cause the default of those home mortgage borrowers for the past years, and then cause another term of the financial crisis. So we people in Taiwan, we probably feel very comfortable. We don't really feel the tense. Okay, but it's really the government or the Federal Reserve in the U.S. is really nervous. They're really nervous about the rate, the inflation keep going, and the cost to the inflation, the current inflation, the reason for this high is the diminishing supply. Okay, we talk about the price is caused by determined by the supply and the demand, right? Okay, holding the demand constant. Then if the supply diminish, if the supply reduced, it also causes the price to increase. And the current reducing supply is caused by the pandemic. Okay, since the pandemic caused the government to lock down, okay, to lock down or to quarantine. Okay, so the labor, okay, the working forces, they are locked in at home. Okay, the factory shut down. Okay, so the price, the supply of the products reduced, and then caused the imbalance of the supply and the demand, and then the subsequent inflation. So this time is very different. This time, every time is different, because this time is the difference. The difference of this time is because of the pandemic, the lockdown, okay, and the quarantine of the labor forces. So we also heard, we might also notice that the chicken in the United States also keep getting more and more expensive. You know, Cooper, you know the chicken, the price of the chicken is getting all the meat. you know why?
Here is going up a lot too. The cost of American-made bacon, almost 1,000 NTD per
all kind of the meat, because those meat, especially for chicken, they need a lot of labor to do it, to handle with the chicken. Of course, it's not very economic. Okay, and then cause the supply chain, to be delayed. Okay, so this is it. So we will address all the issues about inflation today, or continuing from next week. Let me make sure these two guys are with us. Sheila, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. And Cora.
Yes, I'm here. I'm
okay,
here.
Cora, you are in Taiwan now?
Yes.
Good. How was the flight?
It's okay. Not bad.
Okay. So, and Sheila, you are still in Vienna?
No, I arrived in Taiwan on what day? Saturday, I was thinking.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Welcome to Taiwan.
Thank you.
So both of you need a 2-week quarantine?
Yes, and then 1 week
Yes.
self-health management.
So you still need a 3 week?
Yeah.
away from us.
Yes.
Okay, but we try to. No, that doesn't matter. We try to like make you feel in the classroom. Okay. So if you don't understand what I've been talk about, okay. So what I want to share with you in the classroom, let me know. Okay, just speak up, both of you. Okay, let me make sure everybody is here. Again. Okay. PE, right? Okay. 文倩, all right. I think you're here. Eddie, 易峰. Okay. I think we missed one. 易成,林易成. He was not here. 林易成. No. 乔宇. Okay. 怡婷. Okay. 雅云. 雅琴 ，OK， 子怡 ，Good， 志文 ，All right， so Grace， OK， good， and Minging is Carol, right? We have. Sheila here, Cora here, Cooper here, Yijie, Jessica. Okay. All right. Now let's look at the article I sent you. The debt of inflation. We have 4 articles we want to go through. If you have it or you want me to show it on the computer, yeah, let's look at your cell phone. Let's look at your cell phone or your computer. Right? I think it's all on your cell phone. The debt of inflation. Or can we still open the file? The debt of inflation, I think it's still alive. No. And someone send it to our. How about look at the most recent one? Okay, let's look at a fuller figure. A fuller figure. Look at this article. The most recent one I sent you. Okay, so what about this article? Did you find it? Everybody find it? Found it? Grace, did you read it? You wanna tell us what it is all about? Just the basic idea. It's fine. Not all.
It started with talking about the European Central Bank inflation and how they were calculating their inflation rates.
Yes.
And apparently different countries, like some included rent and like housing prices inside
Yes.
how they calculate inflation.
Yes.
And they were discussing how some were and some weren't, and how some countries also wanted to include it in the future calculations.
Okay.
That's the basic.
Okay.
That's the basic.
All right. And so what did the ECB decide, or they propose? What did ECB propose to do? It's on the title.
So including owner-occupied housing.
Yes. Yes. So this is it. So the basic idea is on the subtitle. Okay, the subtitle is the ECB considers counting owner-occupied housing in inflation. This is it. So, so we have to know the definition. We have to know the definition of how inflation is calculated. So what is the most common used? What is the most common used indicators of inflation? Anybody know? The most common used indicator. If you know, just speak up.
Goods and services.
What's it?
The rate of goods and services.
The rate of the goods and the services, the increase.
The increase of price.
Yes, but there is a specific indicator. What we call that?
Is it your
Yield curve? Not that far. Not that far.
Consumer price index.
Consumer price index. Consumer price index, we call it CPI. So what does CPI include? Everybody? The element of the CPIs. Consumer's price. What do you consume? We are all consumers. Everybody is consumer. What do we consume?
Goods and services.
Good and the services. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're correct. But this is too far.
Groceries.
This is 2 o'clock. Okay. In noon, what do you do?
Lunch.
Food. Everyone needs to address, right?
cost?
So in Chinese we use it 11, and then you know 住 living cost of living 行 is transportation. Okay, and then what else? What then? Entertainment. No. The before entertainment is what? Health. Health. Medical. All right. So for food, we have okay, did you two see the board, right? And you? For the food, we have local food, we have import food. So, for local food produced in Taiwan, okay, which is domestic price. So we might be able to control it because supply is on our hand. But for imported food like yellow bean, okay, we in the morning a lot of people wanna have doujiang, soybean sauce, soybean milk, which is imported mostly. Okay, so the government in Taiwan always tend to educate people in Taiwan that we are imported country. Then we should support our export industry. So let's keep our Taiwan dollar stable, low and stable for importing, for the exporting. I think this is nonsense. This is nonsense because we need a lot of food, material, and oil, which are imported goods. And then if we keep our Taiwan dollar artificially low, remember this word artificial, which means controlled by the government, artificially lower than it should be, then it's going to hurt our capability for consuming because we are going to pay higher price for soybean sauce, soybean milk, and the oil. Okay, so this is nonsense. So I don't think this kind of the policy to keep Taiwan dollar artificially lower than it should be, is a correct one. Okay, so this is food. So clothing. So clothing, I think we have enough clothing, but I don't know. I'm sorry for female, there is never enough, right? Never enough clothing. You always short of one cloth. But the technique for making cloth, for making those different kind of the technique, so say persuading T-shirt. Okay, I think you need, you might also wanna, during the winter you might wanna buy some clothes that keep you warm. Okay, there are some new technology for making. So let's keep the living. Okay, and then we come back. And the transportation, as I said, which is determined especially by oil. Okay, and the oil could cost a lot of the kind of the inflation because of the cost push. And education in different countries has a different cost. In Taiwan, if you go to public school, like Zhengzhi University, for universities in Taiwan, the public system is better because they are paying professors pension. We have more stable income and plus the pension. But the private university, they do not pay for the long-term pension, just maybe a lump sum. So in general, Taiwan's public university has a higher, better quality, or better faculty, better professors like me. Okay. I also in the beginning I also taught in private university. Then I transferred I got promoted through my publication. All right, but in a lot of other countries, you need to pay for high tuition. Okay, and the entertainment is the most easily industry to get hurt by the economy. Okay, because if you get unemployed, okay, the first item to cut here is entertainment. You don't want to go to karaoke. You don't want to maybe go out to eat in the restaurant. You might want to just cook. Okay, and medical. So medical is a getting more important cost for aging people. Okay, so when they get getting older and older, they need a lot of healthcare. So thanks to the public, what do you call this? In Taiwan, we have the very good health insurance. We have a very good health insurance. So you have everybody in Taiwan. They can go to the hospital or the clinic with the very low cost of the fee. Okay, they pay a very low amount of the fee. Okay, with the healthcare system, 健保卡. Okay, but in many countries they don't. As I understand, over 1/3 of the people in the United States, they don't have the health care, right? 1/3.
I have health insurance.
Of course, you are in the army, but as you understand, for the family, 1/3 or 1/4, a quarter, they don't have the health care. Right? That's the reason why Obama, wanna launch the healthcare system. He called it Obamacare. Remember? Right? Is that right? Oh, he failed. Okay, because I think it's too expensive to.
Well, it didn't actually fail. They just overturned parts of it. Much of it still exists. They just don't call it Obamacare anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
People realize they liked it. And
Of course, when he finished his term, they don't want to call it Obamacare. It's just health care. I think it need to be done in some way, okay, in some form, okay, because for this time, for the pandemic of this time, a lot of people they cannot afford going to hospital, even though when the vaccine is not a public policy, okay, a lot of people they cannot afford getting the vaccine. Okay. Now it's free. Now it's in a lot of countries it's free. Okay. Okay, let's go to the living. So the living. Okay, let me erase this. So for the living, for the current calculation, okay, most country or in the world just count the rent. They just count the rent. Because the rent is paying the rent is for consumers is as long as you can pay for the rent, you can miss the goal. Okay, you can miss your demand for living. You don't need to buy the house, not the price. Okay, because the price include the investment. Since the price include the investment result. The result of the investment. So for investor, they buy houses. They might not live there. Okay, so push up the house price. So what you need to do as a consumer is just rent a house. So the idea for putting rent in only calculating rent in the living cost in the consumer price is reasonable. We can understand. However, as we mentioned, after the 2008, the subprime mortgage crisis, the QE policy, the increase of the money supply, push up or drive up the house price, so that a lot of family they cannot afford buying houses, or in the future when they want to buy the house, okay, the mortgage payment get inflated. Okay, it's going to crowd out the capability of the consumption. So this is why the ECB, they've been discussing about or considering about calculating the housing price in the CPI. Okay, so this is why it is. So I also think it's making sense. All right, so they are not the first government or entity to discuss about this. More than 10 years ago, when I was writing the PhD thesis, it was more than 20 years ago. UK government, they I think one senator was proposing this kind of the same issue to in the parliament. Okay, but of course, It's not an easy way to finalize it because it's still counting. It's still include no matter what include the reinvestment result, the price. How do you separate it from consumers' cost? Is a difficult issue. Okay. So let's go to another article. Can you open it or let's read it? The date of inflation. Did I address Fisher's equation this time? No? Later I will. It's very important because today is all about. Okay, thank you. Can you enlarge it? Zoom? Alright. So this article is to 2013. 2013. It's been 8 years. So why I still use it? Why I still use it for our reference? Because the trend continues till now. Okay, before the pandemic, it was still valid. Look at the title. It's the debt of inflation. Okay, so this means why? Why the debt of inflation? That means the inflation did not increase as we expected. Okay. Central bank, and okay, I let someone to introduce to us, to lead us. Anyone ready? So can give us some hint, so what it is about. Anyone? Just speak up. 志文, did you read it?
Yes.
Just whatever you think worth for of our noting.
This article is talking about core inflation and about the unemployment.
Okay.
About these two indicators, two index, and the inflation is not easy to predict, and if the inflation happens, it's like the dog that didn't bark, but it happened, just happened. And after that, the unemployment rate will jump between 1980 and 1992.
Okay. You talk about this figure.
Yeah.
I will also address about this figure. This is called the Philip curve. The Philip curve. Okay, I will talk about the differences between this one, 1970s, and this one, year 2000. Okay, anyone want to give us any contribution? Have you just is Duncan here? Yeah? No? Anyone?
So basically the idea is in the late 70s and 80s there was Great Recession from 2008, 2009. There was huge amounts of unemployment, but there was almost no effect on rates of inflation. So there's that
Okay.
association.
You also talk about this related to this figure. The basic idea about this article is they printed money, okay, after the subprime mortgage crisis since 2009. Okay, however, according to the theory, you print the money, the central bank print the money, the inflation might increase as expected, but it didn't. So why was that? So we need to understand it, and then why did the policy didn't attain its original goal about reviving the job opportunity, right? So the trend was like that, continuing till 2 years ago, like 2019, before the pandemic, or even 2020, before the QE infinity. So we have to understand. So until just like I said, the pandemic, the quarantine or the lockdown effect reduced the supply of the production. Okay, so then it's transferred from the deflation to inflation. But we want to focus on this period, okay, 2000, like 2009 to 2009 to say 2019, before the pandemic. Okay, it's even though the money was printed, but the inflation didn't appear. Okay, didn't show the appear. So the title is called "The Death of Inflation." Is indeed the opposite of, we call it, the deflation. Okay, did we talk about the inflation, the definition of inflation? Too much money chasing the, right? Too much money chasing too few goods. Did I write down the, too much chasing relative. It's always relative. Relatively too few goods. Did I write this? No? So this is so-called inflation, 通膨，通货膨胀。So if you understand Chinese, you have to be careful. The 通货 is what? 流通的货币。Not merchandise. It's money printed outside. Okay, outstanding outside. Okay, so if the too much money has been printed, okay, it's going to cause the product to increase. Price of goods to increase. The price of the goods to increase. And consumers tend to purchase and to hoard. buy, not just buy, but to hoard. Okay, okay, 抢购. Okay, so the price keeps going up. Okay, I think this is enough. So we have a term, we call it 囤积居奇. Sorry about Cooper. You can also learn some Chinese term. 囤积居奇. So they turn to hoard it and then wait until the price will go up and then sell it. So I watched the news yesterday. TSMC, 台积电. They suspected that there might be some investors are hoarding chips because the whole world is short of chips, and what they are making is I've been producing, but how come the chips keeps rising? The price keeps rising. They suspected that some specific investor they are hoarding 囤积晶片 chips. This is to our surprise. We heard that they hold some people they hoard liquor, right? In Taiwan before we the public sector they sold liquor. A lot of people rice liquor, 米酒. A lot of family they use the rice liquor for cooking. Okay, and after we entered the WTO, okay, WTO the regulation of WTO says, hey, you cannot subsidize. Okay, so we have to keep the liquor price, rice liquor price to float in the market. All right, but so a lot of people, so let it flow. That means we cannot subsidize. So the price tends to increase. So a lot of people they know after entering the WTO, the rice liquor might go up. So a lot of people they hoard rice liquor. 囤积米酒. This is the historical event. So now we heard that the investors are holding the rice. The chips. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So this is the inflation. So we talk about how come we had too much money. Right? I think we did it, did we? Or how come we had too few goods? It's all relative, right? So we talk about last time. Too much money. How come? Because of the QE. Okay, how come we had too few goods? All right, because the production shortage. Short of demand in the war. Right? Remember last time? War. Okay, strike. We didn't talk about this strike. Long-term strike. Okay, pandemic. Because of the quarantine. Okay, the lockdown. All right. and so on. Okay, but going back to this article, after 2009, there was a QE policy, QE1 to QE2. I did it. They print a lot of money. How come there was no inflation? But on the contrary, that was a deflation. So think about it. So this is why I like this article. So it's been 8 years. Okay, this is dated. This article was dated 2013. It's been 8 years. I still like it for our discussion. So let's take a break for 10 minutes. Yeah, think about it. We come back to this article.